coffee you drink a day?
2 cups. Game days, 3.
No more, no less. Second cup right now. No more,
This is my first, so I get to enjoy my second one here shortly, which I'm excited. No more, no less. Nope.
Just black coffee?
Straight black.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, you can't put can't put creamer in coffee, guys. That's just weak.
Did you always start off with black coffee?
Nope. My old head coach, David Moe, said he was going to fire me if I put creamer in it. So I didn't put creamer in it anymore.
Coffee bean gang?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we like. I got a manager that'll send me all kinds of random coffees from a former manager, so then I get random ones. So it's pretty good.
Favorite place to go?
No,
Starbucks guy?
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So basketball.
Yep.
How you feel after Saturday?
You would have liked to win the game, obviously, but I think it's one of those things that you just kind of continue to move forward and continue to try to grow. It is unfortunately, it is a part of the process. It's not acceptable. It's not something that we just say, oh yeah, it's okay. But we also understand. Like where we're at and what we need to do to continue to grow and get better. And sometimes things like those happen. I didn't think it was for a complete lack of effort. Just watching back on film, I thought we probably played at about 95%. And unfortunately, our level of we've got good talent, but our level of talent doesn't allow us to do that. Like you can't make some of those mistakes. Just little mistakes that we made, and then we still shot the ball. I mean, we shot the ball 18 more times than our opponent. Like all of that from what do you want your team to do from a coach perspective is that's elite. That means we're getting more possessions, and so you take luck out of the equation. But we didn't take enough luck out of the equation apparently.
What's the scouting report on Michigan?
They're really good. They're really good. Yep. They're really good. And I'm sure Dusty will watch this. So as long as Dusty stays out of their way, they'll be fine.
Can you elaborate more on those little mistakes you talked about?
Yeah, I mean, there's just transition defense. There's transition defense. There's okay, can I sprint back or do I go at 90%? Like if you sprint back and you go at 100%, which we did against Nebraska, now you prevent baskets from happening. Do I contest a shot or is my hand down? Okay, does that decrease somebody percentage 10% or whatever? Just stuff like that, the fine details, we just can't afford to not do that. And those are some things that I thought we didn't do down the stretch.
With their size up front, what's the challenge for you guys on just managing 7 foot and 6'9", 6'9" up front?
Yeah, I think it's even more important that they're really skilled. Those bigs are really skilled, and they've got a great. They did a great job. Their staff did a great job of building a really good roster. They've got, obviously Mara and Morez and Yaxel, and those guys are huge. And then their guards are good too. Like Cadeau's really good, and all their shooters off the bench. Like they just got a good roster, and so. Yeah, what challenges? Probably the same that it presents for everybody else. That's why they've haven't lost a lot of games. I think the juice, the energy, Morez's energy is absolutely through the roof. His leadership ability, just when you watch him on film, is elite. And then obviously they've got such good skill and length around him.
Is this another one where you could probably call on Trevin for size?
Maybe. We'll see. Don't want to give out a scout. Yeah. I thought you were going to say Trevor Hudgens. It's like, absolutely.
You mentioned Dusty May. You guys are friends. How did you guys meet? What's that relationship like?
Yeah, I think it might have been maybe before his Final Four. I don't know if it was before or after his Final Four. And I think we connected through maybe a media member, maybe C.J. Moore, maybe. I'm not totally sure. And then just started to build a relationship. And he's into basketball, I'm into it. And just would pick each other brains in a variety of different things. And then obviously he took Michigan, and good. I thought it was a great move for him with all those jobs open. And so, no, it's good. He helps me kind of get used to the Big Ten a little bit, and has helped me a lot. And I felt like I helped him at FAU quite a bit.
It's senior night, Bennett's senior night. How would you describe your relationship with him?
I mean, it's great. I think we've been through a lot just moving so many different times, and we'll probably never realize it till 5-6 years down the road. Like, this is a pretty epic deal. Like, who does that? Like, who does what he did? Like go from D2 to mid-major to the Big Ten over a span of, it's a span of a 2-year deal. Like, he was just in Maryville 2 years ago. Like, this is ridiculous what he's done. And so we'll probably look back at it, in 4 or 5 years and be like, man, this is pretty cool. And to handle it the way he's done it and take it in stride and handle it with the humility that he does, and still be a good person is pretty impressive.
So when he was playing D2 with you, were you ever to the point where, man, he's better than this, he could play at a higher level? Did that ever occur to you during the process?
Yeah, here's the trick. What I found at Division II was I had a lot of guys that could play probably high major basketball, and so he was one of them. I thought he could play high major basketball, and so we just had developed him. And so then you win a lot of games at D2 because you got high major players at D2. So a lot of guys, I probably have, I don't know, maybe, I don't want to say 6 to 7, but there's quite a few guys that would start on this team and really make us improve that we had at Division II, and he was one of them. I always thought he was a high major basketball player. I thought he was when we recruited him, I thought he was a mid-major kid, and that we stole him. And then I coached him, and I'm like, he can play high major basketball. And now it's like, oh, he can play in the NBA. And so he just kind of always rises above where you think he is. And so we had an idea when we got him, and then he was even better than we expected, and then he continues to even show that he's even better than we expect now.
Did he think he could play it back then?
No. He thought he could play Division I, but he didn't think he was. No. That's the theme with all the guys that I've had, like Trevor Hudgens. He's an all Big Ten kid. Ryan Hawkins was all Big East. Those guys they never realized how good they actually were. And so you just kind of help them know how good they are, and maybe they're late bloomers. And Bennett was a late bloomer, and so that's part of why he is where he is.
Can you compare and contrast your and Bennett's personalities and describe why that relationship works?
Yeah, it works sometimes. I'm a little more spirited, if you will, a little more fiery, a little more emotional. He's more pretty calm and probably doesn't say as many things. And so why it works is, I've always said, his pulse probably sits at about 20, and I can rise that thing to about a 35 maybe. He's borderline just there, and mine sits at about 150, and maybe he can take mine down to about 120. So so it just kind of balances itself out a little bit where, I'm excitable and he's calm, and it certainly works out better because I raise him up and he calms me.
How about Tavion, just his journey from going to JUCO to mid-major to D1, and although he may not be the player that Bennett is, he's still a quality player, can play on a lot of quality teams. Talk about his journey, how have you seen him grow?
I saw him in high school when he was in Kansas City, and I remember one of my staff was like, yeah, we need him, and then he ended up going prep. He's had quite the journey. He's just continued to fight for it, continue to grow. Things haven't always gone perfect, and things haven't always gone his way. But to go from JUCO and then, to pick Drake, and then obviously to pick to come to Iowa, from where he's come from is really impressive. And to fight like he fights, and to handle a lot of situations that, other people probably couldn't. He's a tough kid. He's a survivor, and he just continues to grow and get better.
Have you guys pursued anything for the JUCO year, the Pavia rule or whatever you call it?
Somebody's pursuing it right now. There's a couple court cases, and so you just kind of wait on those football ones.
Do you think there's a chance?
Um,
Next year?
I don't totally know. I mean, I don't even know what rules are anymore. Is there rules in NCAA college basketball or for football?
Not many.
Basketball, I mean, well, we're in basketball. Yeah, I don't know if there's many rules. So, I mean, everybody's eligible, for heaven's sakes. Like, yeah.
How big would that be, taking it back?
I mean, it would be big. It's one of those that I haven't really thought much outside of just making sure that it's being pursued. Because there's a couple places that it's being pursued, and if they rule, then they rule, and then it'll be done.
You mentioned when you recruited Bennett, you thought he was a mid-major player, I think you said?
Yep.
But for him to go from that to what you thought he was 4 years ago to now being a legitimate NBA prospect, just what are some of the ways have you seen him take steps in his game to get to this point?
Probably just his belief in himself. I think he's got a great self-esteem. That's why he's self-confident. But sometimes people hold themselves back, and they don't realize how good they actually are. And so you have to convince people sometimes of how good they can be, and that's probably a strength where I can identify talent and try to infect them with some kind of belief, and then they shine.
How much would you say was you infecting Bennett with that confidence in himself versus him already having that?
A little bit of both. It's you don't just like there's no miracle workers, and it's really identifying the right people, putting them in position to be successful. Like that's the best coaches, the best leaders. That's what they do. They understand that the value of people is still considerably greater. There's people who say, well, what's culture? Well, culture is people. Like, that's what it is. And so we've just tried to identify people like him.
Was Bennett 6'4" when you started recruiting?
Yeah, I think 6'3", 6'4". Yeah.
That's obviously a big part of his game, would you agree?
Yeah. No, his length is really good. No, his length and instincts and all that. It's a big part of his game for sure.
I know you talked about after the Penn State game, maybe adjusting some stuff defensively in the half court, helping more to try to stop the drive. I mean, without giving away exactly
Yeah.
what you're doing, have you reevaluated from a defensive perspective, what you guys are doing moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's certain teams that just kind of sometimes there's no rhyme or reason as to what they're doing, because we take them out of something and then they just go to, whether it's ISOs or whatever, one-on-one stuff, and a lot of it was just late shot clock, and so yeah, there's a few things that we're going to adjust and try to improve on, but I don't know that you can totally do that by the end of the season, because you don't want to also reinvent the wheel. Because at the points in the season, we were pretty elite defensively, and our scheme is fine, our X's and O's. It's just a few things that get us, and then once they start picking at that, then they keep picking at us.
Cooper seems like he flipped the switch the other day. I mean, do you think he's kind of turned a corner from that stretch where he wasn't shooting the ball great?
Yeah, I mean, even in the game before that, when he was, 1 for 6 or something like that, I thought he shot great. His back rim. And so we knew that he was going to, make them. His offense, I'm not worried at all. He does a good job offensively. He's still a freshman, and he is a really good kid. And sometimes with really good kids, sometimes they hit little stretches as they're building their confidence and they're, building within our program. And then, by the time they're sophomores, juniors, they're just very self-confident and very self-assured. But he's still trying to figure out what I want, and it's I know it's 9 months in or 10 months in or whatever it is, but it's just like with kids like him that are pleasers, it takes some time. And so, but you got to stick with them through some of those things.
Are you a pregame or postgame senior day guy?
I honestly am not a big senior day guy. I appreciate everything that people do. I'm not a moment guy. Like, that's just never been my thing.
But do you like the ceremony before or after? Or
Before.
get it done?
Get it over with. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Some people just, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's nice for maybe parents. I don't know. I mean, my son's senior night was just, it's fine. It's because it's not like, I don't know, they're just moments. They're not like the moments that matter. It's all the stuff that led up to it. It's all the memories. And so maybe that moment gives you those memories that come back. It's just like winning the national title. When we won it, it was just like, well, this isn't that cool. I spent all my time for this moment, and this moment sucked. It didn't suck, but it was just like, it's not that cool. But then you go back to all the memories to get there, and that's what's neat about some of those moments, and same for senior night.
So you won't be getting emotional?
No, not for senior night. No, it's not I want to try to beat Michigan. That's my objective.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ben.